Afternoon, you're welcome to your favorite social media program, The Buzz. I am Rose Blossom, where, like I always say, we have a YouTube channel which you can like, subscribe, and share at Galaxy Television, Galaxy TV Entertainment, Galaxy TV News, and Galaxy TV Comedy. Smile and laugh away your sorrows. It's Christmas, so I don't think there should be anything sorrowful right now, but always anticipating for that rice. And for those that like to visit, to eat the rice. It's a period to love and to share love, and of course to keep sharing love. It doesn't just end on today. So anyways, I have my co-host with me, of course, so she will be introducing herself. Hi, Covenant. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rose Blossom. Good afternoon, our dear esteemed viewers. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful afternoon in the city of Lagos, and you're welcome officially to the buzz. Merry Christmas in advance. I will not stop saying that until it's Christmas Day. Merry Christmas in advance. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about, a whole lot of affairs of the country, and we're just going to dive in straight up. Before that, I think Rose Blossom would be introducing our guest.
Yes, let us introduce our guest, and today our guest is Comrade Ola Agbola. We all know him, is always joining us via Zoom, and hopefully this year he's going to come next year, 2025. He's going to join us physically. Of course, he's a state coordinator, Center for Anticipation and Open Leadership in Ogun State. He's also a social commentator. Do we have a Zoom guest ready? Please, let's bring him on the screen rather. Good afternoon, comrade.
Good afternoon, comrade.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me this beautiful afternoon. And Merry Christmas in advance.
Same to you.
Same to you, sir. We will have to come to your house and eat chicken. I'm looking for my chicken.
I knew you were going to say that.
So I have to come and test yours to know if your chicken is mine.
No problem. You're welcome.
I like it. Comrade is a cheerful giver. He's a giver. He doesn't like to hold back. Anyways, Covenant, let's go to the first story.
Okay, police reject Amnesty reports, demand retraction, apology. The Nigerian police force has dismissed allegations made by Amnesty International in its report, describing the claim as false, misleading, and damaging to the image of the force. The report, dated November 28, 2024, accused the police of extrajudicial killings during the protests, claiming that at least 24 people were killed in 6 northern states. As such, the report has been refuted by the police, who asserts that their findings contradict Amnesty International's allegations. Addressing a press briefing on the matter on Sunday, force spokesman Muyiwa Adejobi revealed that a special investigative panel has been constituted to verify the claims. He explained that the police from the affected states conducted extensive investigations and compiled a comprehensive report highlighting inaccuracies in Amnesty International's allegation. He added that the police would demand retraction of the report, as well as a public apology for the alleged inaccuracies.
All right. Now, do you have a question for Comrade, please? Okay. All right, let's have Comrade back on the screen. Okay, this is quite interesting because we know how the story is, and of course, like I said, the police has actually rejected the Amnesty report and demand a retraction apology, which if I know Amnesty so well, I think before they even put out the reports, they make their investigation thoroughly, and before they actually publish anything, they make their good findings. So I think that apology might, I'm just guessing, it might be something the police force might never get actually from Amnesty International. But I want to hear what's your take on this matter.
Wow. Yes, thank you. It is talk of the town. I have gone through the first PRO's press conference release, the press release made so far on refuting the claims by the Amnesty International. The police was denied the allegation made by the Amnesty International, describing the claims as false and misleading. And also, Mr. First PRO said its investigation contradicted Amnesty's report in several states, including Borno, Niger, Katsina, Kaduna, Jigawa, and Kano. So these are issues of allegations and denials. Amnesty International reports alleged extrajudicial killings in those states mentioned that I've mentioned above, while the Nigerian police force denied these claims, labeling them as false and misleading and untrue. So when we look at it, the investigation and evidence, and the police force claimed to have conducted investigation that contradicted this Amnesty International's report. But to me, it is unclear whether these investigations were independent or transparent. When was this investigation conducted? Who are members of the investigation committee, that came up with this report and give to the Inspector General of Police? So, demand for retraction and apology. The Nigerian Police Force has demanded for retraction and apology from Amnesty International. So the police force demand to silence criticisms or undermine the organization's credibility. That is Amnesty International's credibility. You understand what I'm saying now? So coming to tell them that they should apologize, like you said, if I can hear from your last narrative, that Amnesty International, they never run after, they never trace shadows. They have done their findings, they have come out with their facts, and what they come out with this report, I think a lot of research, they've dissipated a lot of energy, and they've gotten the true picture of what has happened during the bad governance protest. So the implication of this for human rights, the implication, of this Amnesty International's report, for human rights, the allegation is made by Amnesty International, if true, it would have significant implications for human rights in Nigeria. And Tito, on the other hand, if the police forces denials are genuine, it could undermine trust in Amnesty International's reporting. So look at this, these two sides of a coin. Who is saying the truth and who is lying? But Amnesty International have lived above board when it comes to human rights reporting over the years throughout the world. But when we look at our own Nigerian police, you will know that even in the face of, physical human rights abuses, physical, extrajudicial killing, the police that we have known, the Nigerian police that is well known, will always deny, allegations. They'll be asking you to bring proof. When something of such wants to happen, you don't need to start, it is least expected that something happened just, in a jiffy, and, within the twinkle of an eye, somebody is brought down by some trigger happy policemen. But ordinarily, when it is recorded, or when it is not so recorded by the citizen, because citizen journalism is not, it's part of our democratic rights, and it is not a departure to modern democracy. So they will have to bring proof. It is when it is, ascertained that certain people have the visuals, the video recording of that incident, the police will now admit, that a crime has been committed. But in the absence of no evidence, you get it now, police will always deny such. So it has been part of their antecedent to deny, rights abuses, to deny sometimes extrajudicial killings and all the rest of it. So today, the killing in Lekki toll gate, today the state is still denying it. The military is denying it, the police is denying it. The state itself, they are denying it, that there was nothing like killing, extrajudicial killing at the Lekki toll gate. So they have been known for this, but they forgot that Amnesty International have their ears and eyes on ground in every country, especially developing countries, and in the world at large. So for them to have come, to give an account of what has happened, I think Amnesty International is doing the right thing. And I think the report, what I would have expected the Nigerian police to do, because when you look at the press release made by Miwade Jobi, it shows that there is no single killing that happened during this period. There is no single killing. Even on social media, people who have recordings of killings that happened, but even the one they claimed happened, they said it doesn't come from their men. But even though, if they have agreed, maybe one or two instances that yes, actually our men did this, and they did it out of professional, ethics and conduct, then we would have seen that yes, the police is serious. The police is becoming to say the truth. But they claimed, they disparaged every allegations. They discarded, every allegations that have been made by Amnesty International. I think this is not good enough. Even though we have people who live within that state, we have people who live within that community, there are eyewitnesses, that saw some of these things. It was reported even in conventional media, in the electronics media, even on social media and conventional media houses. But police just disparage every allegations that have been made without even taking responsibility for one, that actually this one happened in this state. The other there was an allegation of police throwing hand grenade, by Amnesty International. Police said it was an IED that has been planted by terrorists, and this called for question, because protesters, genuine protesters, when it comes to protesters, protest, you get it. Protest has a lot of sides to it. I don't think at that material point in period or in time, terrorists will want to use the opportunity to kill fellow protesters. They said an IED was planted, and because of people protesting, the IED exploded. It is not true. It can never be true, because even though you call them terrorists, even though you call the other ones protesters and hoodlums, they cannot kill themselves. They are not out to kill themselves. They are not out to harm themselves or to cause injury or bodily harm to fellow protesters. At that material point in time, when they protest, they are in one spirit. They have become one in terms of the Aluta spirit that has been embedded in all of them at that material point in time. So no protester will want to kill fellow protesters. I think that it is far from the truth. So Amnesty International alleges that it was an hand grenade that was thrown, but police said in the history of the police force in Nigeria, they have never used hand grenade, on peaceful protesters. Neither have they used it, to disperse, protests, in Nigeria. That is against the convention, and international convention, and the police, ethics and practice. So it's unfortunate that we are finding ourselves that error can be done. They said to err is human and to forgive is divine. If they have come, they mentioned the other case that it was a military man that shot somebody in one of those northern states, and that the military are holding on to it. Yes, it was when fact emerges that the military came out and everything, and accepted that actually the chief of army staff then went to the family of that person that was killed, that is not an that was killed, in one of those northern states, either Kaduna or Katsina, and they went to commiserate with the family. But in all these allegations, police, they've never owned up, and that has been their practice over the years. They will never, accept any fault. They will never accept any allegations that has been genuinely, legitimately, accused, that they have been legitimately accused of. They will say no. They will look for a way of twisting those, allegations, and they will want to look other way. They will start, chasing shadows and try to, bend their investigation. So their investigation to me is just a backyard investigation that ordinarily we don't know the caliber of men and women that are composed in that investigation that they came out with, to now say it was not true and everything. So it's just like, trying to, paint a picture of what is not about them. We are Nigerians. We have been in the struggle, in the barricade of struggle over the years. We know that even when police is caught in the act, they will always deny, except you have, vital evidence. And the one of the hallmark of a good, activist is to be educated and, to base your struggle, your intervention on facts, on fact and evidence. That is why most of us who are genuine activists, we always, when we have an encounter with police, what we do is just to gather evidence immediately. We don't want to know what would have, transpired between both of us, but we will be gathering evidence without them knowing, because we have our, our intelligence, our devices, that we always, when you see my cap sometimes, there are certain surveillance devices that are there. When you see my pen, as the one I'm showing you, they are surveillance devices. So we get them through their visuals and audios. So by the time they deny that these things are happening, we just give them a banana peel, and they just fall flat and they start apologizing. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade, for that deep analysis. Going very deep into even the things that we do not even know has to, raises concern to when it comes to these protesters, and of course the killings which the Amnesty International are talking about. And like you said, you even had to analyze the 21-year-old boy who was shot, and in Castina, basically, was actually in Castina. That's a very good analysis. Thank you very much for that input. And of course, we have to move to the next one, because we have a lot on our plate today. So this next story is more about okay, hold on. It's more about marketers, the fuel. I don't know if this is a good news, but of course, trust me, we have a good analyst join us via Zoom that will be talking about this. And just so you know, if you do not know this, marketers are in suspense as NNPCL Dangote refinery have lowered the petrol pump price. Now, the intense pricing competition emerged in the nation's downstream sector. That was on Saturday, after the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited reduced its ex-depot price of petroleum motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, to 899 naira per litre. This decision, coming days after Dangote refinery reduced the price to 899 naira, was confirmed by the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria in a statement. The new price indicates a reduction of 141 naira, or 13.56%, from 1,014 naira per litre, which was sold to customers living in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the statement, signed by Association National Public Relations Officer Dr. Joseph Obele, and quoting a document released by NNPCL's Commercial Department, said that marketers could offtake products based on the regional pricing scheme. However, the NNPC spokesperson Olufemi Shonaya declined to speak when contacted. Now, this is out there, but we're still trying to see if really the petrol pump price is now being lowered, or people are still selling at 1,000 naira plus, or people are now selling at 800 naira plus. But my first question is, comrade, is do you actually think that if this, yes, it's a good cause, it's a good way, it's a good thing moving forward, if actually the price of petrol will reduce, but do you think that would actually make this inflation, this hike in price for food and transportation and basically almost everything, do you think that would it reflect on these things and reduce the prices of this commodities that we get, or services that we get outside? Comrade, please, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so very much. This is something we have been looking towards to, and we have talked about competitiveness in the petroleum industry. So it's a good one. Actually, it's a good one, at least for now. But you see, the reduction in petrol prices, and Dangote and then NPCL is a welcome development for consumers, as it will reduce the financial burden on households and businesses. You see, so, and there are going to be some market dynamics, about this slight slash in the price of petroleum products. The price production or reduction, the price reduction in itself, may lead to a shift in market dynamics, as marketers may struggle, to adjust to the new prices. This could result in temporary shortage or disruptions, in the supply chain, and competition and market shares will be involved. And this price reduction may be strategic it may be a strategic move, to gain market shares and compete with other marketers. Do you get it now? So this could lead to a price war, ultimately benefiting consumers. So when there is price war between major marketers, between refineries and their conglomerates, at least the consumers will be, at at an advantage stage, position about this their, price war thing. So, but the important thing is whether the regulatory environment, the regulatory environment, the government regulatory environment, and policies also may have influenced the price reduction. The Nigerian Midstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, intervention also could have, could not be ruled out in this change. The NMDPR, their intervention would not be ruled out, about this thing. But it's not just, something that happens overnight. There are government regulatory agencies who take charge of this. So what are the economic implications? The price reduction may have a broader economic implications, such as reducing inflation, as you have mentioned. Are you with me, please? Hello? Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, can you see me?
Yes, I can, please.
Okay. So the economic inflation, the price reduction may have broader economic inflations, such as reducing inflation, as I've said, consumer spending, and boosting economic growth. It will boost economic growth. So, but another thing is the sustainability. How is this price reductions sustainable? We could question the sustainability of the price reduction, considering, the volatility of, global oil prices, and the potential impact on the profitability of NNPCL and Dangote refinery. Because when you look at the global oil prices, if it's not reducing, and these people back home here, they are reducing their price, definitely what will they want to achieve about this? You get it now. So we have to look into these areas critically. So, but some of the potential questions, to ask is, what are the underlying factors, driving the price reduction by this conglomerate, NNPCL and the Dangote refinery? That is one. Two, how will the price reduction affect marketers and the overall supply chain? Three, what role has the regulatory agencies played in shaping the pricing strategy of NNPCL and Dangote refinery? And four, what are the potential economic implications of the price reduction, and how may it impact customers and businesses? And finally, is the price reduction sustainable in the long term? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. Is it sustainable in the long term? If it is sustainable, fine. It will be at the benefit of all Nigerians, and we are going to enjoy it. And definitely, we are becoming to see the renewed hope of Mr. President. Even though we have always been criticizing him, and because when hope is lost, there is nothing to gain. But as this thing is going on gradually, let us see, is this sustainable? And is the price reduction sustainable? And what is the long term? So we don't want it in the social buy to be galloping. So not that today it is 899. By after this, maybe it's just a festive, a unitized gift. By January now it becomes 1,050 naira or 1,100 naira. So no, as it is reducing gradually, let's let it be at that template. You should not allow it to be galloping. We don't want such a system where you give us 10 kobo, tomorrow you collect 15 kobo from us. So let it be sustainable, and let it have a long-term, effect, so that gradually the competition is good. Let them be competing. Let them be competing. The consumer will be, at advantage, and we, the end-time users, all the end-time users will be at advantage. And gradually, maybe by God willing, it will become 450 naira or 500 naira per liter. So that's just it. It's a good one, and it's a welcome development. There's no doubt about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, comrade. I just want to chip this in, of course, in regards to the Port Harcourt refinery, which of course was shut down, and Trust Nigerians complaining that with the billions of naira that's being pumped into that refinery now is on shutdown. What is your take about this? Do you think, because from the onset, a lot of people celebrated this refinery being functional again at the instance, but right now, even before now, a lot of people are doubting the capability and if that refinery can actually last long. And trust me, with what is going on now, it being on shutdown is definitely almost the thought of every Nigerian before now. But what do you see about all of this? You know, them pumping so much money into a refinery. Is it that they did not know, or they didn't have the right tools or right persons to really check if this refinery is good to go? Or it was just a premature opening and just to make Nigerians feel like we are working, but yet they know that it won't even last for long? What's your take?
Yeah, thank you so very much. If you could recall some of our past episodes that we discussed this Port Harcourt refinery issue, we said it that we should not be jubilating over what is not. Yes, we mentioned it that we should not be jubilating over what is not, because this Port Harcourt refinery issue has been over politicized. There are a lot of politics that have been put in place or that have been played along the line. Tomorrow, they will tell us Port Harcourt refinery have been revamped. That was the language that has been revamped, and they are going to be producing, you know, certain liters of fuel. They are lifting it. As they are speaking to you now, that they have been lifting it. You know, they have been moving out petroleum products. Then the indigenous people there said, no, there is nothing like that going on. They now mentioned that it was certain things, fuel, petrol that are in the farm that are just being, things like that. So many, you know, distorted information and stories. We don't know which one to take. Even though when about a fortnight ago, when this issue of Port Harcourt refinery came up board, even the federal government was, you know, pre-singing themselves about the revamping and the eventual takeoff of this Port Harcourt refinery. Now, nothing is working there. So, I don't know why we should be deceiving ourselves. The government has so much politicized this Port Harcourt refinery issue, and enough of it. And that is why nobody is interested to listen to any of this, you know, statements coming from the government about, you know, the revamping and the eventual lifting of petroleum products from that refinery, because I can't see why they will be wasting taxpayers' money. You know, there was a lot of misinformation about this Port Harcourt refinery, which ought not to be. They should have been steadfast. They should have been focused and try to do whatever, you know, overhauling or whatever, you know, maintenance or what. Just do it once and for all. Nigerians have waited patiently for these refineries to be working. And ordinarily now, if Port Harcourt refinery have been coming or have been operating optimally, you know, would have received certain, you know, the results. Also, the competition also would have been so glaring, you know, that would have given Alhaji Aliko Dangote a run for his money. You know, Dito, Kaduna refinery. If our indigenous refinery are working, they will, all these refineries will give Aliko Dangote a run for his money, and eventually, as I said earlier, it is the consumers, the end-time users, that will benefit from all these market forces and the competition in the oil sector, in the, you know, petroleum refinery, you know, sector. So all these things is about Port Harcourt refinery is something that politics, you know, they have invested much in political statements about the reality of what the Port Harcourt refinery is all about. The stage at which it is, nobody can just give us, you know, a vivid position or account. If tomorrow now they tell us Port Harcourt refinery is going to kickstart, let me just tell us we should just look at them, because you have been saying all these cock and bull stories. You know, they are just sweet news. we are enough of it. We are used to it, 1,050 naira per liter, and people are managing. Nigerians are not dying. At this festive unitary season, when ordinarily, the suffering of the masses ought to be at least alleviated to a certain level. Today, day after tomorrow, in the next 48 hours, we'll be celebrating Christmas, and the government have declared the public holiday, and the people do not even have any hope, to have a good holiday, to have a good Christmas. Tomorrow, from today now, go to the car parks for those who are our Eastern brothers and sisters who will be traveling maybe from the southwest, from Lagos, to eastern part of the country. Go and look at what the price, the cost of the transportation, tariff, the fare of taking an interstate bus, to their home, go and to their villages or whatever. Go and see the cost. Go and just look at the cost. Today is at the higher side. Everything has skyrocketed. So as it is, don't let us gamble much about this Port Harcourt refinery, this Port Harcourt refinery, that. There are a lot of saboteurs. The Port Harcourt refinery has been sabotaged over the years. There are saboteurs who do not even want, the refinery to come to stay, and these people are making every effort to make sure that government will be spending humongous amount, excessively on this Port Harcourt refinery. They will not want it to see the light of the day. That is just my position on that. So we have heard about this news about Port Harcourt refinery. Let them put it to rest, and nobody is going to ask any question about them again, because that's how successive governments have been saying they have earmarked certain millions of dollars, in revamping the Port Harcourt. The money they have spent so much, in revamping Port Harcourt refinery. I'm telling you, if it is well audited, you will know that it is almost ×2 of what Aliko Dangote have used to build, a new refinery. Go and do your research well. Let them do a proper audit. You will know that over years, by successive government, the amount they have been,
thank you so much, thank you so much.
Port Harcourt refinery is more than to even start let them start a new refinery. Let them start a new refinery if they cannot revamp this one to the best, standard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, comrade. Thank you so much, comrade. We still have questions for you. My co-host has a question for you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, comrade. Thank you so much for that analysis. So you spoke about sustainability, right, when you were answering Rose Blossom's question. And I just really want to ask, why do you think, why do you have a doubt about, sustainability, about the NNPCL sustaining this decision that they've made? Why do you have doubts about the sustainability?
Yes, we have to doubt it, because like when in my narrative you can see that I said we are not saying it should be stable, but we need a continuous slash in terms of reduction in petroleum price. We don't want it to be a situation whereby you give us 8, what's it called? The current price you give us at 8.99. Tomorrow you make it 1,000. So we don't want to see it as a Christmas gift. Yes, we know. In these guys, maybe they are giving us a Christmas gift. We don't know, but it is possible that maybe it was just a Christmas gift. And by January, you now see that all the money they have been used, it has been used. Maybe there is what we call backyard subsidy. Maybe this one is like a backyard subsidy. They subsidize it just to make it a Christmas gift for Nigerians. And tomorrow now, they will now increase it times what the original, price is, where as at this December now. So they will now make profit, ×2 of what we have been giving. So indirectly, maybe they want to rob Peter to pay Paul. But sustainability is let them sustain the tempo, of reducing it gradually. So we don't want it to be today, the inflation rate will be galloping. Tomorrow, even though it's not hypertonic, it's galloping, up, it's coming up, it's coming down. We don't want it in that in such a system. Let it be sustained. Let the template of reducing petroleum prices, let it be sustainable. To be BRS minimum. Let it be reducing gradually. Tomorrow you remove 20 naira. Next day after tomorrow, you can remove 15 naira. But we don't want an increment, into it again. So, and as such, and I think with that, it shows, it is sustainable. And it has been sustained
Thank you
for the benefit
very much,
of Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that, Impu. Thank you so much. We're very hopeful, like you said, there will be sustainability, and because of the history we have in Nigeria, it's almost unlikable to actually say we might have that sustainability, but we will still always have hope and believe that tomorrow is going to be better. Because of our time, my time is fast spent, but I'll just quickly go through this topic. It's just something I want you, comrade, to just analyze in just about 2 minutes, so we can wrap up the show. And this is about Wike issuing a fresh ultimatum to landowners over C of O. So I'm just going to breeze through a little bit. The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has issued a fresh 2-week ultimatum to owners of 762 plots in Maitama 2 district. Cadastral Zone A10 Abuja to pay for their certificates of occupancy, which is the C of O, or face the final revocation of their land allocation. This was disclosed last week. And of course, we can emphasize that the government's primary aim is not to strip owners of their land, but to ensure compliance with payment obligation. And following the publication of a notice withdrawal, the RFO title of the 762 defaulters, many affected allottees have come forward to make payment. Now, in response, the government has extended a 2 weeks grace period, giving the defaulters until January 3rd, 2025 to pay. He also stressed that there will be no further extension after January 3rd, 2023, and the revocation of titles for defaulters would be final. And this ultimatum follows Wike's recent revocation of lands belonging to high-profile individuals, including former President Muhammadu Buhari, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, alongside 759 other notable figures and organizations, all in Maitama 2, Abuja. Wike's action comes after a month of appeal to FCT residents, particularly those in prime areas, to clear their debt to the FCT administration or face revocation of their land right. So, comrade, in 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes, please, what would you say about this? Quite all right. This is a good cause because, like you said, the high-profile personnels are also affected, and it's a good. For me, I feel it's a good cause. It's not just about the poor masses, all the masses. Now it's affecting the leaders, and for crying out loud, it's also affecting former President Muhammad Buhari, which is a very good, step forward. But in just 2 minutes, what's your take on this topic?
Yes, ordinarily it's a good one because if I can mention the predecessor or past FCT minister, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, FCT administration have always have a no-nonsense ministers from Nasiru El-Rufai, and some of the Wike's, predecessors. But the most prominent one that we have seen so far is El-Rufai and the Wike, and that is a good one. But don't let us be cajoled about some of these high-profile individuals. There is no way those ones, how much they want to get, they want to pay for a CFO. They can afford it. But there are some other people, who are in the less privileged, who may not afford, the payment of this CFO if the need be. And eventually their CFO will be revoked. Muhammadu Buhari will not, are you telling me we not have whatever amount that is used, to get a CFO? But in the first place, those high profile individuals, what were they looking when they bought those land, without acquiring a CFO for it? I think something is wrong somewhere. Because ordinarily with their status and with their position, CFO, when they get a land, if they have gotten it legitimately in the first instance, if those lands have got legitimately, most of them they gift. It becomes a gifted land. Some of them did not even use their money to procure those lands. They are gifted lands, and they just take ownership of it, and they may not even be concentrating. But in this case, when they identify this land, it is then they will say it belongs to former this, former that, former this. So most of those lands are gifted land. If it is a land they bought directly by their own hard-earned money or their own resources, they would have done the necessary things. So anyhow, in other way, the minister have done well, for calling them to order to do the needful, except they don't even know, some of them may not even know that they have such land somewhere in that area. That's just a funny scenario about it. So, but when you look at some of the majority, the people who are in the majority, who are not state actors, who are not high profile persons, it is possible some of these people may not even have money, please, to procure this of food. Let them give them like the way they did in Ogun State. The former governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amusan, Feniko Ibikunle Amusan, he did something about people acquiring CFO, like paying, for the CFO in kind of in installment, for the over 2 years period and everything. And it because it was a seamless, exercise, and eventually people paid for their CFO, and they were issued, a certificate of occupancy by the Ibikunle Amusan. So then no land was forcefully taken over by that administration. And today, people that thought they've not even dreamt of even getting a CFO are today having a certificate of occupancy to their land, courtesy of the former governor Ibikunle Amusan, of Ogun State. So let Mr. the FCC minister let it put a human face on that. So mentioning all this high profile, personality is not the case, but the case is the majority, the over 750 who are in the rank and file of the Nigerian masses, should be considered, and we should look for a very soft, measure in allowing them, to pay and get their certificate of occupancy instead of hiring, those lands in order to revoke them automatically. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you, Comrade Ola, for joining us as usual on Monday. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. All of us on Galaxy TV say thank you. Covenant.
Yes, thank you so much again, Comrade Ola Abuola. Thank you so much. I mean, you analyzed everything and it was just straight to the point. I like it. So yes, without wasting much of our time again, it was beautiful it was beautiful in the studio with Rose Blossom and our guests. So until next time, like I always say, keep learning, keep living, and keep loving. My name is Covenant, the Lagos girl, and have a wonderful day ahead. Merry Christmas in advance to you.
Okay, all right. Merry Christmas in advance, and hopefully this will not be a Christmas gift, like Comrade Ola said about the price, coming down to 800, about 800 naira. I hope it's something that is here to stay, and gradually, maybe, they always say whatever comes high or goes high in Nigeria never comes down. Hopefully, this one has come down. Maybe there will be more coming. Now we're sounding like we're praying. But anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for staying with my viewers. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow is another day. We'll come your way again to still discuss the state and affairs of the country on your favorite social media program. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm stuttering. Our favorite social media program, The Buzz. I'll see you soon. Of course, tomorrow is going to be a day to Christmas. Probably I'll be putting on red. Or I'll be putting on a...
And I'll put on green. No, white.
What?
We'll compliment.
Anyways, do have fun and have a blast for today. Bye for now.